Hey boys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. I did say it was going to be Scott Parker today, but it's not. We are following Patrick Vieira into Crystal Palace and his journey through the season, and how he's going to get on. I'm very interested in this one. I don't think it's going to go too well, but let's not make any judgments. Let's jump straight into the action. But before we do, make sure you drop a subscription to the channel and like the video as always. Let's go. So here we are, Patrick Vieira, former Milan, Arsenal, Juve, Inter Milan and Manchester City player, some huge clubs in there. He's taken over as Crystal Palace manager, kind of almost from nowhere. There was a few rumours about, and then Fabrizio Romano was able to confirm it, that he has joined there. So now he is in charge of Palace, taking over from Roy Hodgson. So what do we know about Vieira before we move into the segment of what's happening? Well, this is only his third job. This is only his third job in management. Previously at New York City, and then moving on to Nice. He's had 2 years at both clubs, well, two seasons pretty much. So at New York City, he was able to improve the club standings from 17th to 4th in the first season, and then in the second they managed to get that up to second. That was in 2017. He was in charge of 90 games throughout these spells and won 40 of them, drew 22 and lost 28, leaving him at a 44.44 win ratio. Not a great ratio, but fairly good for your first management spell. He then joined Nice on the 11th of June 2018. He overseen one less game here, so he was in charge of 89. Quite annoying that they never gave him an extra one, but here we are. So he managed to guide the club to a one spot higher finish, so they finished in 7th in his first season. With 56 points, which actually was only 2 points higher than the previous season, as you would probably kind of expect with that one possession movement. And his Nice side was actually eliminated by the first time of asking in the round of 64 by Toulouse. The following season he was then dismissed on the 4th of December, and he's been out of management since then. He basically wasn't going through a good spell. He lost 5 games back to back in all competitions and was knocked out of the Europa League group stage. So that is Patrick Vieira's time in management, which now kind of leads us on to him joining in at Crystal Palace. So let's have a look at what the game thinks of him. So he's got a 3-star reputation, tends to use substitutes, is kind of a weird tends to. 12-man management, 12 motivation, 14 judging player ability and 13 potential and 13 tactical knowledge. So he does like the 4-3-3 DM wide and will switch to the 4-2-3-1 sort of wide. I would not be surprised if in real life we see that switch with it coming in to the Premier League. You might see a different formation being used, as they've only really got the MLS and the Ligue 1 to compare that with. Both very different leagues, so I'll be interested to see how he gets on with that one. So what we'll do just now is we will have a look at the tactics. It has given him the 4-3-3 as it says with the DM. So you've got Batshuayi up front, Zaha, Ayew, Eze, MacArthur, Miljovic, Mitchell, Riedwald, Kouyaté, Kelly and Guaita. Now let's have a look at his transfer history here. I believe when I checked this there had only been one transfer in, and it was Matt Grimes, which I personally think is a very good signing for him. The Swansea midfielder, 25 years old, has probably a lot of potential to develop for him here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on during the season. Only a couple going out, so they've got Christian Benteke joining Strasbourg for 3.3 million, rising up to 4.1, and James Tompkins going on loan to Hamburg. So they will have played a few games here if I go to my schedule. So they're a little bit into the season, so they have drawn with West Brom and Tottenham, and they have taken points off Bournemouth, and they have progressed through the Carabao Cup 3rd and 4th round, and they're currently sitting 13th in the Premier League. So as always, we're going to come back in February with the next sort of transfers, and we'll send a review how they're getting on in the season. So let's jump into it. Alright, here we are. It is 2nd of February 2021, and only one bit of business has been done. We have brought in a loan Nicolas Pepe from Arsenal, which another fantastic bit of signage, to be honest with you. Signage, is that the right word? Oh well, that's what we're going with. Another fantastic signing to add to Palace's sort of attacking force. And Outgoings, we have Patrick Van Aanholt for 700k to Dynamo Kiev, probably because he was coming close to the end of his contract. And Jeffrey Schlupp has gone on loan to Celtic for 210k on fee. And very interesting. So, tactic-wise, have they been sticking to the 4-3-3? Yes, they have. Matt Grimes in that sort of defensive mid role with Eze and Milivojevic further up. Zaha, Batshuayi and Pepe. I really like that attack for them, I really do. Mitchell, Reedwald, Cahill, Ward and Guaita still in goals. Let's have a look at their schedule then. How have they been getting on? So the last game we seen was the 0-0 against Leeds. 1-1 with Burnley, losing to Southampton, Wolves, Liverpool, Man United. Man United in the quarter final of the Carabao Cup. Beating Chelsea 1-0 is a good performance. Beating Brighton 1-0. Beating Fulham, Harrogate 1-0 in the FA Cup, and then Birmingham in the Cup. A lot of draws here, but I mean, drawing against Everton and Tottenham isn't terrible, and a 0-0 draw with West Brom. So where is that leaving us in terms of the competitions? This is not standing out to me as a good season for Crystal Palace. Down in 17th, literally on equal points with Fulham, basically in the relegation zone. They're in the English FA Cup against Bournemouth. I'm actually would probably expect them to win, but at the rate they are playing at, who knows? I can see Patrick Vieira definitely in a little bit of trouble here, and he needs to find a way to get himself out of this. So we're going to come back and round off the episode, see how he's done. I genuinely won't be surprised if he's not in a job. So let's jump to the end. Right, we're back. It's the end of the season. Crystal Palace, as you see, just double checking it, no transfers in or out after that last clip. Let's click back here, and I've went through a little bit. Patrick Vieira still in a job, much to my surprise. Not something I was really expecting. We're going to have a look at the schedule here, and as you can see, there's really not a lot of green. Really not. It's mostly reds from losses to Man City, Burnley, Wolves, Bournemouth, who I literally just said they should be beating them. Frankly, they've got enough in that team to beat that side, and they don't. They go out in the FA Cup 5th round, and then draw with Southampton, beat 3-0 off Wolves, but then a draw with Man City. How are they lining up against Man City? I wonder if he's changing his formation to kind of try and get anything more out of these games. If the game loads, we can have a look into that detail. I doubt it. I would imagine it is still going to be the 4-3-3 defensive. But I mean, getting draws against Man City, and then further down there was a draw against Chelsea. So no, they're just lucky because Diawara had a bad game there, it seems. Man City all over them in the stats. Chelsea, and they're also losing 1-0 to Aston Villa. Yep, playing that 4-3-3 the full way through. Getting beat 3-1 off Liverpool, 3-0 off Arsenal, another 2-2 draw with Man United. It's just a funny one. They're getting results where they probably shouldn't be. Once again, they're actually the better team here against Man United. The XG's better, a lot less shots, slightly less on target, but the quality of shots must have been better there. And conceding 76th minute. So conceding a little bit late on there is maybe unlucky. But then draws to Leicester, Sheffield United, beating West Ham, a 2-0 loss to Brighton, 3-0 win away to Everton, and then drawn 2-2 in the final day. So that is going to put them in 15th place, only 3 points above safety. So definitely not the best performance for Patrick Vieira in his first season. Like we're going to do in a couple of these ones, we are going to go further in and see how he gets on further down the line. But we're going to stop it here today for Patrick Vieira. A really disappointing first season. Some good transfers, mind you, but just not translating that into the scores and the fixtures at all. So what's to come from him? I mean, I said at the start of the video, I don't expect him to do well. I've been kind of improved right here. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think Patrick Vieira is going to bring to Crystal Palace? Do you think he's going to elevate them slightly higher? They are a club that's got the fan base. They've got, personally, I think they've got quite a talented squad. I think they have the potential to go and do well. But Patrick Vieira not beating the match up here, putting them down a standard, and they need to be doing better in the next season. So that'll conclude it for now, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to drop a subscription and like the video.